Welcome, welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C. Super excited to be here for a special edition here at BALM Global. We have an amazing member of our Ladies of Leadership who has her own community, who has an amazing story, amazing background, just a true entrepreneur. We totally relate. I'm glad I met her through the various communities that we are a part of. But today we are going to be talking about the 9 to 5 and going beyond that with some amazing topics and her event that will be on Saturday, April 20th, 2024. You definitely want to be there, and we're going to talk all about it. This beautiful soul, Tina Kadish, met her through, again, just various communities that we are a part of, and we have locked arms to really continue to empower women. And we share this story of the corporate world, and why would I not get her on here and showcase what she's doing, how she's doing it, because we so align with what our background was and what we are looking to do as far as changing the narrative for our members, for our respective communities, all that good jazz. Without further ado, she is the beautiful, the lovely, out of Connecticut, Tina Kadish. Let's get her right in here. Hello, Tina. How are you?
Good. How are you, Nikki? It's so great to be here and join you in your community and just be here today and hearing those great words. So it's such a pleasure to join you.
Yes, absolutely. I am super honored to be in your presence, to just know you, for you to be a part of our amazing community and bringing love and value. And it has been awesome the past couple months, even the past year that we've been knowing each other and kind of connecting more now on a deeper collaborative level, which I absolutely love. That's our go here with BALM Global. Just tell us a little bit about you really quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of all of this.
Okay, so again, thank you so much. So I'm Tina Kadish from Job to Joy is the name of my business. I'm a business coach and I'm an author of 2 books and a speaker. And my story began in the corporate world. My background's been administrative. It's been training and development, talent acquisition, and worked for many years in the corporate world until I got laid off. Was my first experience of, wow, now what? And it was really a very uncertain time and scary for me. And as a single mom with 2 kids at the time, and it happened before the holidays, I really was worried. And I had just been promoted as an area trainer and found myself without a job. However, I believed that something better was going to happen. I just didn't know what that was. And so I started a journey of self discovery, networking, and trying to figure out, like, okay, now what do I want to do? And so in my journey, I met some like-minded individuals that were all in a space of having a job, been maybe laid off or quit or were unhappy with what they were doing. And so in my research, I learned that over 85% of women are not happy with their careers. They're unfulfilled. They're just stuck. And this resonated with me. And I learned of a tool that can help you identify your passions, what's important to you. So I began my business with helping women find their passions. And however, what I did, because a lot of women, I think, do this, and me included, because of fear and that lack of belief in self, I went and got a job as a recruiter. And I stayed there while building my business part time, which is a good thing. However, but I did it for the wrong reasons. I went to get a job because it was comfortable and fear crept in. However, in 2018, got fired from that job after 11 years being there while building my business, getting clients. And I found myself fired, but I believe I manifested it because I was building my business part time. And God was telling me, if you don't do it, I'm going to make it happen. And so it was the best thing. It will be 6 years this year. And now full-time entrepreneur. So I evolved into business coaching because what I learned is a lot of women wanted to start a business after they learned what they wanted to do. And I was referring people to business coaches. So I decided to become one. And so I, and worked with other coaches, learned how what it takes to run a business. And so today I help the women go beyond that 9 to 5, women that are stuck and want something more. And that's where I am today, is really want to help women really figure out, okay, I know I want something more. I don't know what that is. I want to start a business. How do I do that?
Mm-hmm.
I come in.
Absolutely. I love, 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 love all of that. I can 100,000% relate. Being in the corporate space for 14 years at the early age of 23, just really trying to find myself, trying to like soak everything up, put my best foot forward, try to get those opportunities. And what happens when they don't come? When you put all your effort, you're hitting expectations, you're reaching your goals. In corporate, we get evaluated every year. Evaluated to let us know if we're going to get 25 cents more or 75 cents more, because we can never get that dollar more, because if you hit a particular evaluation, so like for instance, in the company I was with, it was a 1 through 5, right?
Yes, me too.
Scale, and I've never hit anything over like a 4.5. Now, the verbiage in all of that exceeded a 5.
Exactly.
How, help me make that make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I can so relate to that, because I would get this great, performance reviews, but they just couldn't give me that 5 because it wasn't in the budget. They just couldn't give it to us. This is what we can give you. And so they only pay you for what they want to pay you. They never pay you for your worth, your value. You're always underpaid. And that's the corporate world. That is the corporate world, because I hear that from so many people. They'll just pay you enough. They'll just pay you enough. And they make it seem like they're giving you such a great review.
Yes,
It's just so
and that it's gonna be
mind-boggling.
amazing. That is just super awesome. And you're looking at this, like, I actually kept all my reviews. I don't know if I can find them anywhere, but when I get my hands on some of these, I'm gonna have to start talking about these and bringing this on this podcast, because it's so true. And don't get me wrong, I love what I did, who I worked with, build great relationships with my coworkers, as well as my management team. But there's still just someone they would have to go through to make a decision on what your life is going to look like.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the topics that we have here and get people really into, what this is all about and what led you to build what you're about to share with us on the second half of this. Let's talk about the power of believing in yourself and overcoming imposter syndrome. I know so many men and women that really go through this on a day-to-day basis. Tell us first, what does imposter syndrome look like, and what is it really telling you?
All right, great. So one of our speakers, Lori Ingram, is going to be sharing this topic, the power of belief. She is a spiritual counselor. She has her own business. She's actually one of my clients who I helped. She went from an IT director to a business owner, and today she owns a studio. And this is a common thing, because what does that mean? For me too, I've experienced this, and even like, it's something that I've had to work on. It's that lack of belief in yourself, or you're comparing yourself to other people. You may not believe that you're good enough, that you have value. That's one of the things that was holding me back in the corporate world, in my recruiting position, that I was building my business, but it was never the right time. How am I going to leave this job and make money? Who's going to want to hire me? I mean, who's going to work with me? Who is Tina Kadish? There's so many coaches out there that do what I want to do. Why would they want to, work with me? So these are all things that we show up as an imposter, okay, making people think that we are good and all of that, but we really deep down inside, we may not have that belief in ourselves, that we're not being authentic. We're really not being authentic. and to the world. And it's something that we have to work on in ourselves, within us, to believe that we are worthy, and that we believe that we have value, and that fear is, we got to go through it. We're all going to have fear, but fear is working through it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's so important. So we're going to have really deep into this conversation with Lori, who's going to talk about this topic. And she's really a great person to talk about this, because also herself, she went from a director in a Fortune 500 company, IT, and goes to now spiritual counselor. And she's also an ordained minister, and has totally made a switch. She was pulled in this other direction. And that's how I helped her to uncover that in our session. So this is going to be a great topic. I loved it because I even said to her, this is a common problem. As I was doing the research to offer this summit, is what are some topics that we can bring to the audience that you're going through,
Yeah.
experiencing them.
Real life stuff. We go through it every day. Imposter syndrome right now is really a stigma, especially in the entrepreneurial space, in small businesses and corporate, because we're all jumping into a dream, right? A dream that we want to make reality. And we
Yes,
feel like we don't have the goods, the time, the experience, which in all actuality we do.
we
What we
do.
possess, all the experiences that we possess, gets us to the next level. It's really doing the work in between.
You
So
are.
if you know you're doing the work, and when these things, I call that the inner hater, when these questions
Mhm.
that you said, am I worthy, am I good enough, am I that expert, can I talk about this for hours? Like, we have to really start asking ourselves more better questions, more positive questions.
Yes.
Like, okay, this is my passion, this is my joy. I know that for me, I have the evidence that took me from point A to point B, and I just want to share it. So you have to step into that boldly. Like, this is me, this is what I am going to do, and how I'm going to change the world, right? So no more imposter syndrome. Get in that room on the 20th to get the tools that you need to wipe that away.
Yes.
All that good stuff. The next topic we're going to go into, which is really huge, um, it's definitely one of my reasons for leaving corporate, and it's reclaiming my time. How important is time? Time can never be given back. Like, this second, it's gone already. We're into the
Exactly.
next second, into the next second, and we have to make every moment count. But tell us a little bit about that topic and why it's important to really touch on.
Okay, so Desiree Cruz, one of our great speakers, she's part of our community. She does her own events, international events, and speaker, author herself. Will be talking about this because she really said to me, I want to talk about this topic because time as an entrepreneur, because we've become an entrepreneur, how do we manage our time? What are some strategies that we can put in place, and really focusing on the right activities? And this is something that I coach my clients on with the time, is that, are you focusing on the right things to move the needle to what you want to achieve? So she's going to be talking about how do you get your time back, because remember, you've gone from a 9 to 5 where you're told what to do. You have a boss that's probably, like Mike could be micromanaging you. And now you're on your own. You are creating your time. So how do you take back that time and make it your own, and really be intentional with the time that you have as an entrepreneur? And instead of being busy, be productive,
Hmm.
focusing on the right activity. So that's the goal of this topic, that I'm so
Yeah,
excited to have her here.
I'm excited as well. Can't wait for what we have going on too back in June.
Yes,
Um, but it's so important about reclaiming our time. The time is now to do that. We need to stop, procrastinating. We need to stop putting excuses. We need to stop putting things that don't move the needle as a priority and bring that down on the list and bring your time back and really do things that are productive. I'm super excited for that topic for sure. So, the third topic that we're going to talk about is taking the leap of faith, how to transition from employee to entrepreneur. How do we do that? Tell us a little bit, just a sneak peek on that.
Okay, so Nikki Gangemi, she's part of one of our networking groups, CLA, and she has a business called Mindful Matters. She focuses a lot in her business on mindfulness, and she herself was a former teacher, left her teaching career, and is now an entrepreneur. And so she's going to talk about some of the mindset shifts that happen when you make that transition. And she's going to share her story because she went through it herself, that she took a leap of faith. She quit a job, okay, and the teaching profession. It wasn't serving her. And she did it. And it's a mindset shift that she said to me that she took. And so she's going to talk about that in the summit, about how do you take that leap and having faith. And this is so important, that all of us having that faith in yourself, believing, again, goes back to that belief in self. Do you believe you can do it? And a lot of times, like you said, we don't. And so she's going to touch on this and really, how can we shift now our mindset and
I love
navigate the challenges, because you're going to have challenges as we
Yep,
take that leap.
of course. Of course. I am super excited about that because I haven't heard Nikki speak
Which is
um,
awesome.
on, on this platform. I mean, we've had CLA, power calls. What do they call those when we go
Oh,
into the
connection
group?
calls. Yes, the
But
connection calls
yes,
that we
the
get on.
connection
Yes,
calls, and
yes.
she's absolutely amazing, phenomenal. I see her work, and we have the same love language as far as mindset and shifting that. But it is so true. Like, I am a walking testimony of taking a leap of faith and transitioning from employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset. And it's not easy because sometimes we stick in that employee mindset and we kind of limit ourselves from the growth that we're supposed to be generating. So I am
Exactly.
super excited about that leap of faith. I talk about it in my book. Three biggest steps of courage that I took was one, moving from state to state with
Mm.
no real, connection to anyone but just a few family members like my parents and aunts and uncles and cousins. But it wasn't huge. And then going into corporate with no background, no experience, no education in
Wow.
healthcare at all. But because someone took a chance on me, I had to take advantage of that. And I did. And then actually leaving that. So those are leaps of faith. You
Yeah.
have to really know that no matter what it's going to look like, because we can't see it.
No, we can't see it.
We
Can't
can't
see
see
it.
it until we take action and start putting in the work. Then you're going to start seeing it and the reasons why you made these choices and all that stuff. I'm excited. So let's talk about creating the exit plan.
Okay, well, you are speaking on this topic, so I'm so honored to have you, Nikki, as one of our speakers. So, creating an exit plan is so important. So, because I never tell my clients to just jump from a job into entrepreneurship, having a plan is important, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes, for whatever reasons, we can't. And so, what is the exit plan? So, I'm excited because I can't wait to hear your talk, Nikki, on how do we create this exit plan? Because I have in my website, I have a resource, how to create an exit plan. But I can't wait to hear your talk on this, because before I got let go of that job, I had a plan of how I was going to leave. And I was building my business, and I put away money. I created an emergency fund. I started to get rid of debt. Like, I always believe that we have to prepare for making that exit, not only mentally, okay, but also physically, meaning, like, what are some practical steps we need to take to make
Yeah.
that transition? So, yes. So, Nikki, would you like to share a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm actually the total opposite. I had no exit plan. I
I
had
know.
not prepared. So I'm gonna, and this is how I love to teach the right and the wrong way to do things, right?
Yep. Yep.
What happens when you do it with a plan? What happens when you do it without a plan? Both can still be successful. Let me just tell you again, I'm a walking testimony of
That's
it, and I
right.
will never lead my ladies either to kind of just jump into it. What I do tell them to jump into is the process of getting it done while you're in there, while you're funding your business.
Yes.
But I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm excited to put that together because again, people that for me that didn't have an exit plan, I truly went on faith and I truly knew what I was
Good.
capable of because I've already did the work ahead of time building my mindset to be able to make that decision. And even at that moment, at that line where it was like, am I going to go or am I not going to go? I still had those limiting beliefs.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
I still had them. But you know what? It took 3 words. Is it 3 words? 4 words that I heard. I won't tell you it on here. You have to join April 20th. The 4 words that made me take action.
Good.
So I'll leave you with that.
Good. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear it.
Awesome.
Excited.
So now we're going to talk about the 8 must-haves to start a business. We won't go into what you must have, but the fact why is this important? Share that with us.
Okay, so I'm going to be sharing that, and this is my 8 steps of creating a successful business blueprint. So I'm going to go through each of those 8 steps. What is important to have in a successful business blueprint to create that framework? So I'm going to teach you or share with you the structure, the framework to have to start that business. Because, like I said earlier, we have an idea, but we may not have how we're going to do it. What's the structure? And we are, here's the thing, and all of us here and the audience that are going to come, it is evolving. You're always evolving. Things are not going to stay the same. You learn from getting clients, feedback, and you change things. So I think so many of us, we want things to be perfect before we make a change, before we create
Mm-hmm.
something. So that goes back to some people are perfectionists. Got to be perfect before I can take action. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Absolutely not. I think
No.
if we still stick to trying to be perfect, what I'm seeing and noticing is that nothing's ever being launched, nothing ever being put out there. People don't
Nope.
know who you are and how gifted and how you can serve and the lives, the thousands and millions of lives that you can change
Yep.
if you just try it. Trust me, once
Exactly.
you're in, there's no going back.
No.
It's just a my experience because I didn't know about like networking and getting into communities and groups and the
You're learning.
entrepreneurial space and getting all the tools that I needed. Let me tell you, it was an adventure and I enjoyed every bit of it. Is it hard work? Yes. Is it fun hard work? Absolutely, because it's for you. It's for
Exactly.
you and those that are waiting for you to tell your story, to launch that health program, to launch that business, whatever it is. There is a market for everyone. And
There is.
getting in coaching with communities like Tina's, and those
Your
that we have
beauties.
in our communities, it's going to get you to the next level no matter what, but you have to be ready to receive it.
You have to be ready. And that's key that you said that. You have to be ready to receive it.
Yes.
Be
Yes.
open to it. Yes, absolutely important.
I'm getting even more excited. So this one's a big one because while we're being entrepreneurs and being amazing at what we do and helping people change lives, sometimes we forget about ourselves.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about how to take care of yourself. That's a huge topic, and I'm glad that you have someone to speak on that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So Deborah Edwards, I met her through another networking community that I'm in, and she is a self-care guru. She is in Kentucky, and she's going to come in and talk about finding your inner hero.
Mm,
And so she really, this is what her whole business is about, is she's going to be talking about some self-care principles. And she actually will be offering a free gift. Everybody, here's the thing, all of you, everybody will be offering a free gift to you. We're going to have some giveaways that day as well. So this is another great reason why not only you're going to get the actionable, practical steps to walk away with. This is not going to be just networking, which you will be networking. It's a community we're building here, but you're going to walk away with practical, actionable steps that you can implement immediately from this summit.
It's going to be amazing. April 20th. Tell us the times real quick.
Yes, 9 to 2. It's 9 to 2. It's virtual, of course, and it's a Saturday. And I'm excited to have, because all the speakers that I found through a community that I connected with, that I've met and that I've gotten to know. I didn't just say, oh, I think I'll have that person. No, I selected the people I wanted to have. This is my first summit on this topic of many more to come, because I will be doing these quarterly. And thank you, Nikki, for your support, because you have to be, I invite all of you to be part of a community, because you can't do it alone. And some people think they can do it alone. And that's another thing that they have right here, a mindset that needs to shift, that we need other people to help us.
Absolutely. We get there quicker together. It's just as simple as that. We kind of overthink stuff, and we kind of, want to reinvent wheels, and we want to be the originals of certain things. And in all reality, we are all original. We are all unique in our own ways. We have that special gift and offer. So go with that. Don't try to be someone else that's doing someone else. Like, there could be two people. Perfect example, Tina and myself. We help women turn their passions into profit, period.
Yep.
How do you change your passion into a business? How can we create it? But we can showcase right here, right now, how we can do that together, still serve our respective communities, still collaborate with each other, still support each other, which is huge, 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 huge. And we're not seeing a lot of that, which I would love to see more of it. And this is why we do what we do, giving our experiences, sharing our knowledge, adding the value.
Yes.
Like, if we can put a price on this, it's priceless, really.
It is priceless. So for only $47, which I didn't mention earlier, for $47 only, you get all of this that day. And it is priceless, because if you add the value of what each of our speakers' knowledge, expertise, the resources that you're going to walk away with, it is thousands and thousands of dollars that you would have to pay. Truly.
Yeah, I totally get. Did we just say truly at the same time?
We did.
Oh,
because we've experienced it ourselves. It's like the value that we offer, that we receive from speakers, is priceless. It's priceless.
Yeah. And collaboration is truly the new currency. I don't know if you've heard that
I
before
have.
in the past, but it truly is. And again, we can go further together, and all these topics are important, but we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
We are not done yet. Let's talk about the 4 lessons in leadership.
Okay, so Diane Bennett, another coach, she also took that exit from corporate, and because all of our speakers have done it and are now entrepreneurs. And so Diane Bennett is a leadership coaching expert. And so she's left her corporate career, and now she really does leadership. So she works with women leaders, within the corporate world, but she also helps you to be a leader within yourself, because we all are leaders. We don't have to have that title. So she's going to share her 4 lessons in how do you build your leadership skills. And she's a great woman. I met her at a conference last year. We've stayed connected. She's come into my community many times, and she's just a beautiful soul, a very giving person. And I just love her. You're going to love her as well. And she's she's a heart-centered woman. And we'll talk about, because leadership is really her expertise. And she wants to teach all of us, how do we build that leadership skill? You're now an entrepreneur, and now you're running your own business. How do you become a leader? How do you build those skills? So stay tuned for those full
I
lessons.
am so excited. I actually just funded her as well, because that's what I do when we get in these communities and we know we're going to share a space with some amazing individuals. The first thing is to start building that authentic relationship
Exactly.
that will grow to look like what we have here, what we have created in our spaces. And I just love it. Like, I met Nikki Cruz from one of your lives
You
that you
did.
did, one of your Zooms. And,
Yes.
she came in. Then she had two of her staff from her community join. And it's just a ripple effect of when you're doing great work and you're really truly supporting women and giving them the tools. I wish I had this 20 years ago, Tina. Like,
I
corporate
agree.
wouldn't know who Nikki Cuesta was
No,
if I
no.
would have had the tools that I had today. Um,
Exactly, exactly.
but you know
And
what? I
that's the thing.
embrace.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to hear everybody. And I mean, yeah, she's awesome. She's gonna be really awesome as well as everybody else.
So I'm excited. We'll go into the final topic, which is one of my favorites, because either you can do this when you're starting, or if you've started something and you kind of sat back because you didn't see things like moving the way you would want. Remember, there's always a time for this topic. And the time is now. The time is April 20th. The time is every day before and after that until our dying breath. And this is the comeback. Tell us about the comeback.
Yeah, so Elena Rodriguez, who we both know and love, she is a powerhouse. I just love her. And I met her through your community and love her story. And I wanted her to be on my summit. And she's going to share her powerful story. How did she make the comeback? Because she went from really losing everything and to now she's an entrepreneur. She runs multiple businesses. And this is the lesson here for all of you. You can run multiple businesses. And she is still in the 9 to 5. She has shared that online. She has shared that in the community. And there's nothing to be ashamed of, because here's the thing. Some of us, and I did it, working a business part-time while building a business, working full-time and building a business part-time. It can be done. And here's something, why not? And so she's going to share her story of how she made a comeback from really nothing, losing everything, to now she's got multiple businesses. And in knowing her as a person, her faith is going to be shared, and
Mhm.
she is all faith.
Yeah. She's
So
definitely going to be present. It's going to be powerful. We actually had the pleasure last night to actually hear her story again, because I know I've
yes,
heard it multiple times. Me and her connected May of 2022, and we've been writing together ever since because we decided to get in a room together. Now, this one was live, and we still were able to make that connection and still build and lift each other and support each other and all that good stuff. But before I go to how we work together, I also want to say that at that same event, I want to shout out Gabby Abdelgadir from Canada as well, because she wasn't in the room. She was
okay,
virtually. But because I went in the room and decided to make the decision to speak on this stage and join this competition with the AMA Network, I was able to meet her.
see,
Now, mind you, again, I'm in the room. She's not there. She's in Canada. She hears my story, my talk. By the time I get back to my seat, she's already texting me like, I need to connect with you. You're amazing, all this good stuff. So
wow,
no matter if you're in the virtual space or the live space, getting in the room is what you need to do. And the
exactly.
comeback, like Elena's comeback story is so powerful. Um, Even listening to it maybe for the fifth or sixth time, it's still like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. What are we struggling through that we can't get over?
I
And
know. I know. That's what, I heard her story again last night, and I said to myself, wow. And I thought I had struggles. No, here's the thing. We always think we have it bad, but there's always someone that might have it worse than us. And surrounding ourselves with beautiful souls like these, you learn from each other. It's not competition. And this is another thing that I want everyone to learn, is that it's co-opetition. It's working together. It's,
Mm,
I've heard that word, a term, a while back, co-opetition, not
I've never heard
competition.
of
I know,
it.
I heard it from another networking organization, and it's really like cooperating with each other, collaborating, working together. Like Nikki Cruz, you just mentioned, you met her in my community. She's in our community now. Beautiful. She wouldn't have met you if she hadn't shown up in another community. You see, so
Yeah.
showing up in those rooms is so important. So all of you here that are listening, and if you're on the fence thinking about this summit, make a decision. If this resonates with you, that what you've heard today on the topics, and you know someone, invite a friend, and have them come and join this summit for only $47. Look at what you're going to get. And as an attendee, you will get the recordings as well. So you'll have the speakers. They're all going to offer a free gift. And I think it's going to be amazing, if I say so myself. And I'm excited for future summits coming up. But this is going to be the theme of how do we go beyond that 9 to 5 and really achieving entrepreneurial freedom, because I'm all about freedom. My first book is Freedom: 7 Steps to Thrive in Life and Business. Had I not been let go of my job in 2018, I wouldn't have written a book. That was my first book. I wrote it in 2021.
Mm,
So I launched it in 2021. And I wouldn't have launched it had I not been an entrepreneur, because it was something I wanted to do. But as an entrepreneur, I want to be a speaker as well. So I wrote a book with that idea that, okay, how can I teach other women to find freedom? Because that's what we want to achieve here. It's freedom, doing what you love all the time, being passionate.
oh my goodness. We're going to take a quick break. This has been absolutely phenomenal. I hope you're writing notes. Share this, put a comment below. We'll give Tina's information in a minute. But I'm just going to show you a quick video. It was the launch to my so the official business launch of BALM Global. And this is really when I see this video, I kind of want you guys to put in the chat, what do you see? What do you see? And for me, this was my story. This was my year, my 1 year level up, which is the next title to my next book. And, that's in writing right now. But it's really what happens when you start making these connections. So let's go into that video, and then we'll dissect it, and then we'll go back into a few more questions with Tina on this amazing event that's happening that you all need to be there. Give us 1 second, and we'll be right back.
What a great video.
Tina, what did you see in that video?
People having fun and just enjoying, being inspired. I recognize a lot of the speakers there. It's just people getting together and inspired. And I know you inspire people every day.
And
That's
so
what I
do
saw.
you. And
Thank
so
you.
do you. And that's what you're doing. And maybe that's a live event, but I know you'll get to live events very soon
I
because
will.
we will make that happen. Because I
Yeah.
do see, especially with these topics, with these pain points, this is something that's never going to go away. We do need experience in. I'm
Oh.
sorry, do not disturb doesn't actually work when you are recording here. Um, what my train of
Live events are important. And being
live,
in the room live is so true. It's so important. There's
yes, and
a
I
different
do.
energy.
Definitely. But these virtual events has been just as impactful for me. When you go in with that open mindset that you were talking about earlier, when you go in with that growth mindset, when you go in with the decision that this, whatever that you're going to receive at whatever event that you're attending, and you're going to take it, implement it, and do the work, that's when the results will come. It's not just, we're supporting each other. We definitely want to go in there and support each other with our communities. But what I'm asking everyone who has already locked in their ticket, those that will lock in their ticket, and those that will hear the aftermath of their experience, that this is important for our lives, for the lives that we serve, for our families, for just so much. It goes beyond all of this. It
Yes.
goes for generations to come. And what I see that you are building, Tina, is absolutely beautiful. It's aligned with our everyday. We've been so conditioned to get a job, and jobs
Yes.
are great. We need people to work those 9 to 5s.
Yes.
But remember, the cycle keeps going. There's more people getting into the ages of 9 to 5 and people getting out of ages of 9 to 5. And you have to really see, how do you want to live your life? You gain the experience and you do something with your purpose. Some people have never even clocked in for anyone because at a very young age, they've decided that they will work for themselves.
I know. I've met people like that, and I applaud that because I've always worked. I never even thought of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Had I never been laid off,
Yeah.
I
And,
would
and
not have
let's go
experienced that.
back to that. Let's actually go back to that. And let me also touch base on what I see in this video, what we've created, where we created other communities to get together, to serve each other, to serve the common purpose, which is to make
Mhm.
this world great, right? By how we can impact lives. What I seen there were fellowship,
Yes.
relationships being built,
Yes.
empowerment, just familyship, just the setup, the breakdown, the look, the vision. It puts a lot, like, you have to put a lot of work into creating these spaces, but they're
Yes.
all worth it. And it took me literally, again, May of 22. Well, let's go back. It took October of 2020, where
Okay.
we talked about, we were hit with COVID, and a lot of people realized that when they were getting laid off, when they were fired, when they decided, they're not
To
going to go
quit.
in, they just quit themselves, and
Yep.
they started taking action and started thinking about ways to really change their own lives. And I have seen so many success stories during this pandemic that it's
Yes.
sad that it took this long for us to decide that we wanted to do something purposeful.
I know. I know. It is so true because the pandemic really opened our eyes on our
Yeah.
careers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot what my other thought was going to be, but we have a couple more questions for you. Are we still good on time?
We're good. Yeah, we're good. Yep, we're good.
Awesome. So, who should attend this event? Who are you calling to step to the challenge?
Okay, so a woman right now who is in a job right now and they're just unhappy, they're not going anywhere, or they want to reinvent themselves, they're saying, I want more. Or they could be right now in a transition. They got laid off, they've quit a job, they are saying, now what do I do? So it could be someone that is in a job, or it could be someone that left a job and they know they want to start a business, but they haven't really put it together. They have an idea going on in their head. that would be the woman that needs to come here. So it's multiple, multiple situations that you could be in right now. That would be so helpful to you.
Yes. I 100,000% agree. I also believe, truly, truly believe that if you are an entrepreneur and you're stuck and you
Yes.
want to reinvent and get into each of these mindsets, then you need to be in this room.
That's right. That's right. Even if you're an entrepreneur right now, you could be a new entrepreneur. You could be an entrepreneur for a couple of years and you're not growing. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. So if you're looking to connect, to network, to get speakers for your podcast, to be a speaker on podcasts, like we really need to take advantage of what this virtual space has gifted us with Zoom and not being, you're in Connecticut, I'm in Philadelphia. We would never cross each other's paths
I
unless
know.
we're visiting each other. Like it's like one in a million, right?
That's right. That's right.
But we have been gifted with this space of technology, of just being on a screen with other people, and so many powerful connections. And we're total, like we live this every day with all of our communities, right? The love and support that just come in and out, and the things we learn each and every day,
Yeah.
that is what we are creating here. And I believe every woman right now needs to be in that room. You're going to get something. Again, we would say that we've hit a level of success, right? Would you agree, Tina? We,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
overcame some things,
Yes.
but we're also students. We
Oh,
can
yes.
also learn from a
Always.
different perspective.
Always
Now,
learn.
I love it. I love it. So, what are some key takeaways the audience will have, which I think you spoke a little bit on it as well?
Hmm.
And what keeps women from taking the leap? And I think we talked about that too.
We talked about that too. Yeah. So the key takeaways is, like I said, each speaker is going to offer, share their stories, share how can you implement, actual practical steps that you can walk away with. But you're going to have this summit that's going to have strategies, opportunities to build your community. You will connect with so many different people that, like you said, you could be on a podcast. If you have a podcast, you might have a guest be on your podcast, but it's really going to be you're going to gain insights on how can I navigate my mindset and think differently and really be better, or just learn and say, wow, I needed to be here because I needed to learn this and I needed to have the steps, because sometimes we just don't know what steps to take. This summit, you will walk away with those action steps. And that's one of the things that I shared with all the speakers. I want you to offer practical, actionable steps, not just theory, all
Mm-hmm.
right, but really walk away, that I want them to really walk away with value from the
Yeah.
summit. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Powerful, powerful. Thank you so much, Tina, for staying obedient, for saying yes to yourself, for really having the heart, right? You went through some stuff that said, hey, I can help that next lady out. I
Yes.
can definitely get her from point A to point B because I did the suffering, the tears, the whatever it was during that time frame, that you have a toolbox to offer. And the fact that you're bringing 7 other speakers to add to not just your toolbox, but to your community's toolbox. And for those women that are really seeking the answers, you may have 7, but you're missing one of these.
Right.
Even if you're missing one of these, you need to be in the room,
That's right.
because
That's right.
every piece to an ingredient, all the ingredients to success, you have just laid it out. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, you
Thank
have
you.
just laid it out. And let's go back to the pricing and the value as well. If $47 could make you thousands, is it worth paying for? Because that's
That's
what
right.
we get into. Wow, another $47, another 97, another 1,500. But if we start thinking about when we are investing in ourselves and we are
Yes.
releasing these funds, with the mindset that they're going to multiply, then you have opened the door for success.
Exactly.
But when you're struggling and you're giving like, oh, I got to swipe this card, oh, I got to give this, and I may not be able to have my meal. I can't go out Friday night. I can't, get my Netflix on, whatever it is. When we're thinking about that, we are blocking the growth.
That's right.
We just truly are. And it's all, again, in mindset. You're going to learn so much at this event. And I am just super excited and ecstatic for you. So proud of you. Thank you for reaching out to say, hey, Nick, this is what I'm looking to do. How do we get it started? How can you help? And to be able to walk on this journey with you is truly, truly a blessing and a privilege. I don't take it lightly. When
Thank
you're
you.
messaging, I'm responding. And I know life happens. And thank you so much for your grace
Oh,
with
no.
me. But I just love what you're doing. And I love that, again, that God has given us all these tools and all these opportunities to really connect with growth-minded women. And we talked about compassion. We talked about comparison. We talked about perfection. We talked about competition.
Yeah.
And I don't ever see any of that with the women that we have connected with.
No, I don't
which
either.
is which is a truly a culture, a movement that we've created.
That's
And
right.
I
We're building
love
a
continuing
culture.
to, yeah, I love continuing to watch it, to be a part of it. So if you have nothing going on April 20th, and if you do, you might want to push it back till after 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because you want to be in this room. Tina, let us know how we can get our hands on our tickets, how we can connect with you to learn a little bit more. How can we get a hold of you and this event?
Okay, so on my website, www.fromjobtojoy.com is where you'll see the event on my calendar there, on my homepage. And also I can put the link of our Eventbrite in the comments here as well, that you directly direct you to Eventbrite to join us on April 20th. And yes, you need to be in the room, because just think about one problem you might need solved can be in this room. And how will it change your life if that gets solved for you? And so coming from abundance instead of scarcity mindset is so important. Yes, it's only $47, and it is worth the $47, because
And so
this is
much
worth
more.
so much more. This is
Yes,
worth so much
absolutely.
more. I wanted to
Absolutely.
make it affordable.
Yes. And the time. Remember, we talked about time.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
are, again, what are you going to be doing on this day? And if it's not going to increase your growth, if it's not going to add to your income, if it's not going to do anything, then you need to be in this room.
That's right. You need to be in this room and make it happen. Figure out what you need to do. Like Nikki said, push other things back unless it's major, but you need to be in the room. Okay. And be surrounded by all of these amazing women that are going to be speaking, sharing from the heart their topic.
I
And
love it.
truly, truly. So
I
thank
love
you
it.
so much for having me here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for joining just all of this next season, right? We're in quarter 2. We're lifting up lives. We're lifting up women. We have to do better in this space, and this is a great time to do it. Um, there's room for every single soul that is on this earth, whether male or female. I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
male or female.
Yep.
It is our duty to find our purpose and live in that purpose. That's why we were here.
That's right.
So
That's
we
right.
have to seek it. And if we don't have answers, or we're still kind of a little distorted, then we need to
Get the answers.
continue to connect in these spaces so that you figure it out.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Yeah.
your 9 to 5 is okay. Maybe you are happy. Maybe you love what you do. You can still grow in corporate with these concepts.
Exactly. You absolutely can. And it's so true what you just said. You can, even if you like what you're doing in your job, you can still come here, because maybe you might hear something like maybe down the road, you might say, oh, wow, yes, I learned that at that summit. I like what I'm doing, but you can build your leadership skills. Think about that, how you can manage your time, the power of believing in yourself, even on the job,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
believing yourself and having that entrepreneurial mindset. I call it being an intrapreneur, an
Hmm.
intrapreneur. Maybe you can learn some skills.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. If you're
definitely.
managing, you can get skills to manage your team more.
Exactly.
um there's just so much. There's so much, and we could go on all day about it. But thank you so much, Tina. You're absolutely
Thank you.
phenomenal. I again am honored and blessed to be in your space, to be walking alongside you on this journey. If you are just even having an inkle of maybe I will, just do it. Make it happen. Make it count. Be in the room. We absolutely love you. Thank you for continuing to
Thank
support
you.
Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. Thank you for joining another episode with this amazing, beautiful soul here, Tina. Definitely
Thank you,
connect with
Nikki.
her. If for whatever reason you can make it, you still want to connect with her. Because remember, she's going to be doing this quarterly.
Yes.
Connect with every name that you heard. If it sounds familiar, connect with her saying, hey, you know what? Maybe that person that's talking on that topic, maybe I need to speak with them. We can do that too. But
Yes,
get in the room.
absolutely.
Get in
Thank
the
you.
room. Have a great one. Enjoy your day. And as I always say, make it count.
Bye bye, everybody.